Welcome to the Q Reports Walkthrough. Cloudspire Voice provides 4 dedicated Q reports under the Call Center section of Abandonment EBX Management: Q Performance, Service Level, Q Abandonment, and Interval Report. Together, these reports give call center managers a complete picture of Q health, SLA compliance, caller patience, and traffic patterns over time. Each report includes date range filters, data tables, and CSV export for deeper analysis in a spreadsheet. In this video, we'll walk through all 4 reports, explain what each metric means, and show how to use them for better staffing and operational decisions. Let's start by logging into the admin console. Navigate to PBX Management, then click the Call Center dropdown. Below the Configuration section, which includes Dashboard, Queues, and Agents, you'll see the Reports section. This is where all call center reporting lives. The 4 Q-focused reports are Q Performance, Service Level, Q Abandonment, and Interval Report. There are also agent-focused reports below those, which we cover in a separate video. Let's start with Q Performance. It's the high-level summary that most managers check first. This is the Q Performance Summary. It shows 1 row per queue with all the critical metrics for the selected date range. Looking at the Wicked Sprockets data, we see General Support, Main Parts Queue, and Spanish Support. Each row shows calls offered, the total that entered the queue, answered, abandoned, answer percentage, abandoned percentage, average, wait time in seconds, average in talk time, and the service level percentage. The color coding makes it easy to spot trouble. Green means 80% or above, yellow is 50 to 79, and red is below 50. You also get ring no answer count, which tells you how many times the phone rang, but agents didn't pick up, and callback request and completion counts if you have callbacks enabled. The SL percentage column shows the threshold in parentheses. Here it's 20 seconds, meaning the percentage of answered calls picked up within 20 seconds. Above the data table, the filter card lets you adjust the date range and service level threshold. Start date and end date control the reporting window. It defaults to the last 30 days. The SL threshold field sets the number of seconds used to calculate the service level percentage. If your organization's SLA target is 30 seconds, change this value to 30 and click Filter. The report recalculates all metrics for the new parameters. The Reset button returns everything to the default 30-day view. Below the filters, you'll see the queue count, how many queues had traffic in this period, and the Export CSV button on the right, which downloads the full table for external analysis. Queue Performance is your daily health check. If answer percentage drops below your target or abandon percentage spikes, it's time to adjust staffing. Now let's look at the service level report. Navigate to it from the call center dropdown under Reports. Service level measures the percentage of calls answered within your target time. It's the most important SLA metric for call centers. At the top, you see per queue summary cards showing each queue's SL percentage with a progress bar. General Support shows its percentage of calls answered within 20 seconds. The color coding follows the same 80-50 thresholds: green for on target, yellow for borderline, red for below acceptable. Below the summary cards, the data table breaks service level down by time period. Each row shows a date with the number of calls answered, how many were within SL, the abandoned count, the SL percentage, and average wait time. This trend view is what managers use to identify days when service slipped and correlate those dips with staffing changes or volume spikes. The service level report has an additional filter that the other reports don't, the Group By Selector. You can view the data grouped by hour, day, week, or month. Day view is the default and shows 1 row per date. Switching to hour gives you the most granular view. 24 rows per day showing exactly when your SL dipped. This is powerful for identifying specific hours that need more coverage. Week and month views aggregate for trend analysis over longer periods, ideal for monthly reviews and quarterly planning. The SL threshold filter works the same as in queue performance. Set it to match your SLA target. A common industry standard is 80 points or 20, 80% of calls answered within 20 seconds. If your target is different, adjust the threshold accordingly and the report recalculates in real time. The Export CSV button downloads the grouped data for charting in your preferred spreadsheet tool. Next is the queue abandonment report. This report focuses entirely on calls where customers hung up before reaching an agent. At the top, 4 summary cards show total abandoned calls, average, wait before abandon, minimum wait, and maximum wait. These numbers tell you how patient your callers are. If the average wait before abandonment is 40 seconds, customers are giving up relatively quickly, and you may need to improve hold messaging or add callbacks. Below the summary cards is the abandonment by hour of day heat map, a visual bar chart showing which hours of the day have the most abandonments. Taller, darker bars indicate peak abandonment hours. This is one of the most actionable visualizations in the reporting suite. If you see a cluster of abandonments between 10 and 11 a.m., that's exactly where you need to add agent coverage or enable queue callbacks. Below the heat map, the detail table shows every individual abandoned call with the exact timestamp, queue name, call ID, the caller's position in queue when they abandoned, and the wait time in seconds. This level of detail is useful for investigating specific incidents. For example, if a VIP customer complained about a long wait, you can search for their call and see exactly what happened. The queue filter lets you narrow the view to a specific queue, and the date range controls the time window. This report defaults to the last 7 days since abandonment data is typically reviewed more frequently. The detail table is paginated for large result sets, and the Export CSV button downloads all records, not just the current page, so you can do deeper analysis offline. Tracking abandonment trends week over week helps you set realistic staffing targets and measure the impact of queue configuration changes. The final queue report is the interval report. This breaks all queue metrics into fixed time intervals, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes. Each row represents one interval with calls: offered, answered, abandoned, answer percentage, average wait, average talk, and SL percentage. The interval report is the staffing planner's best friend. By looking at 30-minute intervals, you can see exactly when call volume peaks and valleys occur. If the 9:30 to 10 o'clock interval consistently shows high offered count with dropping answer rates, you know that's when agents are overwhelmed. The queue filter lets you focus on a specific queue, and the SL threshold adjusts the service level calculation. Color coding on the answer percentage column highlights intervals that need attention. Red intervals are your staffing gaps. Export this data to build shift schedules that match actual demand patterns rather than guessing. The interval report filter bar has the most options of any queue report. In addition to start date and end date, you have the interval selector. Choose between 15-minute, 30-minute, or 60-minute intervals, depending on how granular you need the data. The queue filter narrows the report to a specific queue, and the SL field adjusts the service level threshold. For workforce management, 30-minute intervals are the industry standard. They align with how most scheduling software plans shifts. For troubleshooting a specific day, switch to 15-minute intervals for maximum detail. For long-term trend analysis, 60-minute intervals keep the data manageable over multi-week ranges. The Export CSV button is especially useful here. Workforce managers often import this data directly into scheduling tools to generate optimized shift patterns based on actual historical call volumes. That covers queue reports in the admin console. Here's a quick recap. Queue performance gives you the high-level per-queue summary: calls offered, answered, abandoned, wait times, and service level. Service level tracks SLA compliance over time with per-queue summary cards and flexible grouping by hour, day, week, or month. Q Abandonment analyzes where callers give up. The hourly heat map identifies peak abandonment hours, and the detail table shows every individual dropped call. The interval report breaks metrics into 15, 30, or 60-minute windows for precision staffing analysis. All 4 reports support date range filtering and CSV export for external analysis. Use Q Performance for daily health checks, service level for SLA reviews, abandonment for caller patients analysis, and interval report for workforce planning. Check the documentation link below for the complete reporting reference.